There are moments in life that carry a magic of their own. For children, birthdays are not just about growing older, but about experiencing pure joy, excitement, and wonder. And for parents, those birthdays are milestones that live forever in their hearts. On this very day, Gigi Hadid was not the international supermodel the world knows her, as she was simply a mother, preparing to celebrate one of the most precious days in her daughter's young life. Khai, Gigi's little girl, had just turned 5 years old. 5 years may seem small in the grand timeline of life, but for a mother, it is a journey filled with unforgettable firsts. The first smile, the first word, the first step, and now, the joy of watching her baby grow into a bright, curious, and loving child. Gigi knew this birthday had to be more than just another cake and gifts moment. She wanted to create a memory, a surprise that Khai would carry with her for years to come. The morning began quietly. The sun rose over a calm sky, and the world outside seemed ordinary. But inside Gigi's heart, the day was extraordinary. She woke early, thinking about the smile she longed to see on her daughter's face. Birthdays come once a year, but a fifth birthday felt like a milestone that deserved something truly special. For Gigi, it wasn't about grand luxury or glamorous parties. It was about the bond between a mother and her daughter. She wanted Khai to feel loved in the purest, most heartfelt way. And so, the idea of a touching surprise began to take shape. Something intimate, something magical, something that was not for cameras or headlines, but for Khai's innocent little heart. As she moved around quietly, planning the day, there was a warmth in her soul that only a mother could understand. The world may celebrate Gigi Hadid as a star, but in that moment, the only title she wanted was mom. And this mom was about to give her daughter a birthday she would never forget. Every mother dreams of making her child's birthday unforgettable. For Gigi Hadid, the excitement of preparing Khai's 5th birthday was something that filled her with both nerves and joy. She wanted the surprise to feel magical, but also deeply personal, something that spoke not through extravagance, but through love. In the days leading up to the big moment, Gigi kept her plans quiet. She wanted every little detail to be just right. She thought carefully about the colors Khai loved, the small things that brought her joy, and the way children light up when they feel truly seen. For Gigi, the surprise was not about impressing the world. It was about giving Khai the gift of a memory she could treasure. She began with the decorations. Instead of a grand hall or a glittering stage, Gigi chose something far more intimate. She imagined balloons filling the room, soft lights twinkling gently, and a cake decorated in a way that reflected Khai's little world. Each piece of decor was selected with her daughter in mind. From ribbons that dance in the air to the tiny details that only a mother would think of, everything carried a personal touch. There were moments when Gigi paused, reflecting on how much her daughter had grown. It felt like just yesterday she was holding Khai in her arms for the first time, whispering promises of love and protection. Now, here she was, carefully arranging a day that would mark 5 beautiful years of life, growth, and motherhood. But the real surprise wasn't just in the balloons or the cake. It was in the feeling Gigi wanted Khai to experience, the overwhelming sense of being cherished. She wanted Khai to walk into the room and feel her little heart swell with happiness, to know that she was the center of her mother's world. Planning the surprise brought out a tenderness in Gigi that words could hardly capture. It wasn't about money or luxury. It was about creating a space where love could be felt in every corner. And with each step of her preparation, Gigi's excitement grew. The thought of seeing Khai's reaction filled her with warmth, reminding her why these moments were far greater than any spotlight or stage. The stage was set, the decorations were ready, and the secret was safe. All that remained was the most important part, the moment when Khai would open her eyes to the surprise her mother had so lovingly prepared. The morning felt calm, but inside the house, something magical was waiting. While Khai played in another room, unaware of what her mother had been carefully preparing, Gigi moved quietly, making sure every final detail was in place. The balloons floated gently in the air. The soft glow of little lights wrapped the room in warmth. And at the center stood a cake that looked like something out of fairy tale. It was not an ordinary cake. It was a reflection of Khai's world, decorated with colors she loved, topped with little designs that spoke to her imagination. Each candle seemed to carry a wish from her mother, each one ready to be lit for a daughter who would become the brightest part of her life. Finally, it was time. Gigi called her daughter into the room. Khai's tiny footsteps echoed softly as she walked in, her innocent eyes unaware of the surprise waiting just beyond the door. Then at that very moment, her gaze fell upon a room filled with light, laughter, and love. Her eyes widened, her mouth opened in astonishment, and a soft gasp of pure joy escaped her lips. Balloons surrounded her, colors danced before her, and the cake stood tall as if it were made just for her dreams. For a 5-year-old child, it was like stepping into a magical world. Gigi watched closely, her heart swelling with emotion. This was the moment she had been waiting for, the sparkle in her daughter's eyes, the sound of her laughter filling the room, the pure and unfiltered happiness only a child could express. For Gigi, this was everything. Khai ran toward her mother, wrapping her little arms around her waist. That hug was more valuable than any gift or decoration. In that embrace was the meaning of the entire surprise, a celebration not just of a birthday, but of love, of family, and the bond that only a mother and daughter share. The candles were lit, and together they sang. The melody of the birthday song filled the air, but what lingered longer was a feeling behind it. Gigi's voice cracked slightly, holding back tears, while Khai's laughter made the entire room glow brighter than any light. It was a simple surprise, but in its simplicity lay its power. The room didn't need to be filled with crowds or flashing cameras. It was filled with something far more precious, memories that would live forever in the heart of a little girl who turned 5 and a mother who made it magical. After the candles were blown out and the cheers faded into soft laughter, the room settled into a moment that words could hardly capture. It was not the balloons or the cake that held the magic. Now it was the quiet, tender connection between mother and daughter. Khai, her face glowing with excitement, looked up at her mother with the kind of happiness that only a child can express. Her eyes sparkled. Her cheeks were rosy from smiling, and in that innocent voice, she whispered a simple word that melted Gigi's heart, Mama. Just that one word, carrying the weight of love that no language can measure. Gigi knelt down, meeting her daughter at eye level. She gently brushed a strand of hair from Khai's forehead and whispered, "Happy birthday, my love." In that instant, the world outside no longer mattered. There were no cameras, no headlines, no distractions. There was only the warmth of a hug, the softness of a kiss, and the unshakable bond of family. Khai wrapped her little arms around her mother's neck, holding on tightly as if the entire world rested in that embrace. For Gigi, that hug was everything she had hoped for. The balloons could deflate, the cake could be eaten, but this moment, this embrace would live in her soul forever. The room echoed with laughter as they played together, tossing balloons into the air, clapping to silly songs, and sharing giggles that rang louder than any applause from a runway or stage. For Gigi, there was no higher honor, no greater achievement than seeing her daughter happy. At one point, Khai leaned her head against her mother's shoulder, tired from all the excitement, yet smiling with pure contentment. Gigi held her close, her heart whispering silent prayers of gratitude. She wished for her daughter's health, her joy, her dreams to come true, and above all, for Khai to always know how deeply she was loved. It was in that simple, quiet moment, the touch of a hand, the sound of laughter, the warmth of closeness, that the true meaning of surprise revealed itself. It wasn't about creating the perfect party. It was about creating a perfect memory. And in that memory, Gigi Hadid and her daughter Khai found a piece of forever. For Gigi, the birthday celebration was meant to be private, a moment just for her and Khai. Yet, as the day unfolded and the warmth of the memories grew stronger, she felt a gentle pull in her heart. She wanted to share just a glimpse of that joy with the world, not a boast, not a show off, but to remind people the beauty in life's simplest moments. Later that evening, after the balloons had drifted into corners and the cake had been cut and shared, Gigi picked up her phone. She scrolled through the pictures, Khai laughing with frosting on her cheeks, balloons floating above her tiny head, and that one perfect shot that captured the magic of turning 5. It wasn't posed, it wasn't polished, but it was real. With care, Gigi chose a photo and shared it with her fans. Just a single image, paired with a heartfelt caption, became a window into the love of a mother and the innocence of a child. She didn't need to say much. Sometimes the emotion in a picture speaks louder than any words. The reaction was immediate. Fans across the world lit up with love and admiration. Thousands of comments poured in, not just celebrating Khai's birthday, but celebrating the purity of the moment. People wrote about how touching it was to see Gigi so devoted to her role as a mother. Some shared their own stories of childhood birthdays, while others simply sent blessings for Khai's future. What made the post even more powerful was its rarity. Gigi had always been protective of her daughter, choosing carefully when and how to share anything about her, and that made this glimpse all the more special. It wasn't a staged publicity post, it was a heartfelt moment, a small piece of memory that she generously allowed the world to witness. The image spread quickly, appearing on fan pages, media outlets, and trending hashtags. But beyond the headlines, what truly mattered was a message it carried. Even in a world full of glamour, fame, and endless distractions, nothing compares to the joy of celebrating a child's life and love. For Khai, it was a birthday filled with magic. For Gigi, it was a memory etched into her heart forever. And for the fans, it was a reminder that behind the fame, there is a mother who treasures her daughter more than anything else in the world. As the day came to an end, the house slowly grew quiet.